This can change everything when it comes to our election. This one thing. And I felt like it was going to happen. We talked about this a few months ago, how this could be a game changer. Well, this is now the game changer. Let's talk about the presidency. Let's talk about what we think the pros and cons of moving maybe away from a two-party system. Not only that, the polarization in our nation. Is the deniability of elections going to keep on happening no matter who wins? I think this video is going to be good because I think it's going to help us say, you know what, especially for me, as someone who wants freedom and liberty, and definitely on the conservative side, could this game changer cause us not to win elections ever again? Let's jump into it.
Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty.
So what am I talking about in this video? And I said the game changer could change everything. It really could. Now we have Trump on one side, of course, we know. I think the second debate just assured Trump the winner of the Republican nominee. Now, the only thing that holds that up is if all of a sudden they indict him so much, or they destroy his financial institutions and they tie him up. And basically, to me, that's a third world country kind of mentality. They're not allowing the people to decide who the nominee is. They're going to try to destroy him in court. So I think that's a wrong approach. But other than that, if nothing else happens with his indictments, or to a point where they destroy his money, like they were talking about the Mar-a-Lago thing, if they don't destroy that, Trump will be the nominee of the Republicans. On the Democrat side, and I've told you, I believe that Gavin Newsom will move in. I believe Biden will be sick, or I believe Biden won't get to that point. But again, other than Biden stepping down, you have Trump and Biden. Especially us on the conservative side, we believe that Trump will probably beat Biden. So I think Democrats see that that's probably not a good thing. Now, here's the game changer. Here's what I'm talking about. We talked about RFK not too long ago, and how the movement of what he's doing. He's helping energize kind of that libertarian, that kind of blue dog Democrat, that centrist right who doesn't like Trump. He's helping bring in that coalition. Now, the scary thing is, when he was on the Democrat side, I think it helped because a lot of Republicans, even though they didn't like Trump, especially the ones that are more centrist, they were not really RFK fans, because RFK really kind of went against the establishment too. He was still kind of a non-establishment guy. Even though he's a Kennedy, even though he's been around the establishment forever, his goals and aspirations are not really that establishment kind of play between the 40 politics. Of course, they don't like Trump. It was one of those situations where those independents and those centrists and those blue dog Democrats still did not like Trump, and they were still going to probably still poll to Biden because they didn't want Trump to win. Now, with RFK moving to the center and actually doing independent, Trump and Biden's campaigns, Trump will always have his devoted followers. So he has the 40%. Biden will always have the leftist Democrats. No matter if they like him or not, they're not going to vote for Trump. So say 40%. So that 10% that's always been in the middle. And that's the independents that's always swayed the elections. And in most states, that number is within a few thousand of winning. With RFK moving to the center and moving to an independent ticket, not only does it appeal to those libertarians, those never Trumpers, even those blue dog Democrats, he has more talking points that actually favor a little bit more freedom and liberty. Now, I'm not an RFK fan. I'll be honest with you. I think his climate push and some of the things that he's said in the past is crazy. I think he's absolutely nuts. But when it comes to the libertarian side and the freedom side of the thing in the arm, and some of his views on regulation of that, he's spot on for most libertarians. So therefore, that 10% in the middle, he's going to be very appealing to. Now the question is, who does he hurt the most? And this is where I think a lot of people have it wrong. He's not going to hurt Biden. I think he's going to pull a little from the Democrats, the blue dog Democrats, maybe the Mansions, the Cinemas, those kind, the people who, maybe like their firearm rights. Maybe they think that abortion shouldn't be up until, time of birth. I mean, those kind of people, normal thinking Americans. But what I think he's going to do more than that, he's going to pull the Republicans. He's going to pull those centrist people who we consider rhinos, the people who literally hate Trump, that would rather see Biden win, because they know they're not having to vote for Biden. They can vote independent and make that swing, make that hurt Trump enough to where Biden wins, or Gavin Newsom. I think this is even scarier if Gavin Newsom gets in the race, because Gavin Newsom's even more left, even more young, even more charismatic, even more a better orator than Biden. So it's going to make him look more appealing to the younger and the leftists. Then RFK swings a few votes from Trump. Then I'm scared that all of a sudden you have a Democrat leader. Now, I think this is a playbook that we saw, of course, with Ross Perot. The difference there was, yes, it hurt Bush, but you had more of a centrist candidate with the Democrats, and then you had a centrist candidate with the Republicans, and you had Ross Perot that split that. We're not in that area anymore. We're in a polarized time in our world to where we have extreme, supporters of Trump, and then extreme leftists, not supporters of Biden, just extreme leftists. And you have the middle, who RFK is already polling 15% in the Democrat Party. So he takes that 15% and then takes the fact of maybe the 4 or 5% or the 10% of the lower candidates who doesn't like Trump or who doesn't like DeSantis, or even Vivek. The Vivek people who they're more populist. We know Vivek probably won't win, even though I like Vivek and some of the things he stands for. What if all of a sudden Vivek and all those people under him, those centrists, those Pence votes, those Christie votes, the ones who don't like Trump, and they're not conservative enough for DeSantis, those people swing right to the middle. If RFK pulls that extra 10% and then pulls the 15% that he was already polling, that kind of middle Democrat Party, Biden will win, or the leftists will win. The scary thing is if that kind of that kind of game plan plays out, kind of like the ballot harvesting and the vote for a month situation that the Democrats have won on for so long, I think we are now seeing a movement where the Democrats could sway people from now on to run a middle of the road person. And they'll say it's an independent, but truly it's going to be a Republican. It's going to be the Youngkins. It's going to be the Larry Hogans. And it's going to be the Christies, the people that kind of what we call the Northeast rhinos, the Republican Party that's not really Republican conservatives, the Susan Collins, the Murkowskis, the Romneys, those kind of people, if they can pull enough away from the Trumps, the populists, the conservative votes, then they always win because they play within the 40s and they keep the movement of status quo politicians, keep the movement of the liberal agendas going. And if they get bought and paid for enough, like they already are, they're bought and paid for, if they can swing the vote for the Democrats, get a big payout, and then hurt the people like the Trumps or even the Viveks of the world, I think you're going to, and even the DeSantis, let's go back, even the DeSantis, the more conservative wings of the party, then they always can have a leftist push. So I believe you're going to see Democrats use this in their playbook from now on. They're going to say, let's send somebody to the middle that's going to help sway the vote away from those never-Trumpers, those centrist Republicans who don't like the abortion stuff, who think it's crazy that they're pushing, one man, one woman marriages. When you see people push against that and they move to the middle, then you're going to see the independent get stronger. Now, I hate the two-party system. To be honest with you, to me it's a uniparty, and then you have the populist conservatives. I think that's what you got. But I think what you're seeing now is you're going to see an independent and Democrat still caucus, still be the same people, and it's going to make that party, that system, that side with the centrist rhinos, the independents, and then the Democratic Party be a 60% margin versus the true conservative populist candidates of 40%. I think it's going to hurt the conservatives always. Not hurt the Republicans, hurt the conservatives. Listen to me. Hurt the populist conservatives like the Trumps, even the very staunch conservatives like the DeSantises. I believe it will hurt them as well. Because remember, people like Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, those people are neocons. They're middle of the road centrists. They're actually not Republicans. They are a little bit more Republican than Biden. So therefore, the movement with RFK, I believe you're going to see some swing in here, and I believe you're going to see some of those centrist right move right under RFK, because it's going to give them an excuse. Well, we're not voting Democrat. We don't like Biden. All the while, they're actually supporting Biden because they're pulling votes from Trump. Now, you may not see it that way. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say, no, it's going to hurt Biden. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think that. I don't think RFK is going to pull enough Democratic votes. I believe he's going to pull a lot more centrist and independent votes because he has that Kennedy name that reminds you of that more conservative, religious, middle of the road liberal that doesn't lean leftist agenda. It's kind of middle of the road, play between the 40s. Keep everything status quo. And I'm scared that's going to actually hurt the Republicans. Now, give me your thoughts below. What's your comments? Do you think that's going to hurt? Because you know, unless anything changes, because we saw in the second debate, it was a train wreck. It was an absolute train wreck. I don't think anybody won that debate. I think it made Nikki Haley look more of a neocon and more of a liberal. I think their goal was to hurt Vivek, and so they did that. And I think they tried to make Trump more irrelevant. If you look at the swing after that, you know, who won the debate, quote unquote? They said DeSantis did good, Vivek held his own, and Nikki Haley won. What did the polls show after the debate? Now, you can believe the polls or not, but what did the polls show? It showed it showed an 8% swing for Trump better. 5 better, DeSantis went down 3, Nikki and Vivek didn't change. So it made Trump even stronger. If I was Trump, I wouldn't do the debates either, because actually they're making mockeries and fools of it. It was less watched than the first debate without Trump. It was less watched than any Republican debate that Trump ever was in. So that shows that the movement is not for these other Republicans, it's Trump. So unless the government really does this third world country stuff and takes Trump out in some way, Trump will be the nominee. Biden will be the nominee, or a leftist agenda like Gavin Newsom. I think the cheerleader Gavin Newsom will be the nominee personally. I think Biden will have enough hiccups that they're going to get him out because his polling is terrible. And they know if it become a two-party system, Trump-Biden, I honestly believe Trump would win, because even the economy, even if you don't like Trump, you're like, the economy under Trump was a whole lot better. The gas price under Trump was a whole lot better. Now, again, as a conservative, it's only one choice for me. I'm always going to vote conservative. Just being honest with you, I don't care. I'm not allowing, Trump's not going to lead my Bible study. Trump's not Superman, but he's a whole lot better than Biden. He is actually standing up for, I believe, more conservative views than anyone in our past. All these conservatives that we have voted in before, most of them were all establishment people. So I do like Trump because he's not establishment. And why do you think so many people are pushing against him? Why do you think they don't want him to run so bad? It's because he's not playing for this globalist push that these typical political West are pushing for. So I think that that's what makes him even more liked by people like me, who feel like they're tired of paying taxes. I mean, here we are. We have the border fence being cut, and I still got to pay taxes. We have shutdowns happening, and the military is going to be furloughed. The military cannot be paid if the government shuts down. However, Ukraine's military can, out of our money. Why am I paying taxes for that? So people like me who are disinterested and mad at paying taxes, who are tired of paying $6 worth of gas, Trump still looks so much better than Biden. Do you know Biden cut out more leases for oil just this week? All these strikes, they're causing jobs. They're causing more pay for you as a consumer. So people like us that are very just ill with the way that polarization is done and the politics of it, Trump still looks way more appealing than Biden. But then the game changer is RFK. What percentage does RFK pull? If he pulls 20%, if he pulls a third party 20%, he won't win presidency. But who is he pulling? Is he pulling the Viveks and the centrists because they don't want Trump? Or is he pulling away from Biden and the leftists? He's not pulling away from the leftists with Gavin or Biden. He's going to end up pulling the centrist independents and then some of the conservatives. And when he does that, and I say conservatives loosely, sorry, rhinos. If he does that, then what's happening? He's going to hurt Trump. And we're looking at a new playbook for the Democrats, I think, from here on out. You know, the month-end voting, the absentee voting, the write-in votes, all that kind of stuff that the Democrats do well, the ballot harvesting. This is going to be another playbook. They can say, well, if we can get a centrist right, or someone who looks a little appealing to the center and to the right and to the independents, then we can always win. We don't like the guy. We don't have to like the guy. But if we can find the Chris Christies, the RFKs, the Nikki Haleys, and run a centrist campaign, the Larry Hogans, those kind of people, if they can find that person, it's going to make the right pull closer to the independent, lose the populist conservative vote, and then the left wins. And that's just my thought. I think this is a game changer. I said this a long time ago. Trump should have worked with RFK and said, how can I entice you to support me? The Democrats don't like you, so how can I ask you to support me? And I would have worked out something where he could have been in my administration over the FDA, over the USDA. I'd have tried to find a place for RFK, because RFK does have some good points on some things. If I was Vivek or Trump, I would have said, how can I entice you to come swing with me, and let's work on a goal together and initiatives together to run and make America better. That's what I would have done. I think that would have made the right look more appealed, and I think that would have helped Kennedy stay away from running in the middle and in the independent bracket to then pull away votes. The Republicans should learn something from the Perot days, definitely. But again, the problem is they never learn, and they still pull right to the center. You know, the shutdown thing I told you yesterday on a video, I think the shutdown should happen. But then again, here we are, the Republicans passed a $300 million package to Ukraine. All in the while they took a little vacation last week, and they come back and they still can't do shutdowns. They still can't get agreements on your money, but they can send your money over to other places while your military is not going to be paid, while they hold up the risk of other people not being paid in America. I believe shutdown should happen. But this is why, because we are so freaking messed up, and our politics are so bad and so polarized that we don't have an answer for it. And I think if we don't have an answer for it, we have to hit the bottom valley to see this is absolutely stupid. Milley retires. This new guy coming in for the military, he wants to worry about having more African Americans in leadership. I don't care if you're black, white, Cuban, or Asian. If you can be a good leader and make sure we're safe, I think that should be the only concern. Not this equities agenda where we have to have certain people lead us just because they're of this ethnicity or this belief. That's absolutely stupid. Our nation is faltering, and until we figure out what this polarized politics movement is, I believe we're going to see a different playbook, because we're going to see Democrats play more dirty games to get them elected, and we're seeing the fall of the U.S. right in front of our eyes. Give me your thoughts. Am I wrong? Is this crazy? I believe RFK is going to pull more votes from Trump than he will Biden. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm scared. If we see this happen, you see another Newsom or another Biden administration, and you can kiss your Second Amendment rights away. You can see more censorship on your First Amendment rights, and you're going to see more movement towards getting away from petroleum, and we're going to literally look at a bad time in America. And one day we'll look back in history and say, this is where it happened, right here. It all revolved around this moment. Give me your thoughts. This is how I believe. I believe that this is going to be a game changer and may be the plan for the Democrats from here on out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We are blessed to be able to share this with you every day, and we hope that you enjoy our channel more than anything, and that we can bring common sense approach and gain wisdom to a crazy America that we live in. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.